welcome. Today we're doing an apartment renovation, which is the first time I'm doing this on this channel. And actually it's also the first time I'm really doing this by myself, because before I played in apartments before, but I don't really decorated them much. And I was challenged to do this by a friend on Instagram, by Yola, and so I'm finally doing this, and I'm renovating the 18 Culpepper Street apartment, which I think it's my favorite one because the size is not too big, not too small, and also the wall height isn't this tall. And for my first apartment renovation, I was inspired by Dita Fanti's house tour I saw on YouTube, and she is a maximalist, and that's what I wanted to do in this apartment as well. And so I cluttered a lot in this apartment, which is kind of unusual to me, but it seems that I'm starting to clutter a lot lately. And I especially cluttered the walls, and I also have a story in mind for the Sims who are living here. In my mind here lives a Sim, an elder woman who was a movie star when she was young, maybe even a scream queen, and she starred in a lot of horror movies. That's why I put so many film-related items and horror-related items in the hallway. And I think she is a Sim who also traveled a lot when she was younger, and someone who has a lot of friends, and I gave them a big dining area so they can have diner parties and welcome their guests a lot. And I try to keep the style of the apartment very dark and mysterious, so it suits her former life as a horror movie star. And I used a lot of dark greens and browns and, well, also black colors, and I really tried to clutter this apartment up, but it was a bit difficult to not use the same items all the time, but I think I managed it quite well. I will talk a bit more about her when we do her bedroom decoration. And I think with her also lives a butler, who's maybe also an elder Sim, and I gave the butler also a bedroom, but I think it's the personality of the butler is very contrasting, and I tried to do their room less cluttered with more bright colors and a cleaner layout, but I will talk about this also later. And I think the gameplay with those two Sims would be actually quite funny, with two opposing personalities. The one Sim being a very star-like personality, and the other, well, more clean and more down to the earth. And I actually came up with the idea while I was trying to do two townhouses, which I wanted to make one of the townhouse in a light academia style and the other in a dark academia style, but it didn't go out as I wanted to do it, so I will come back to it at some other point and try again to do the light and dark academia townhouses. So here we are coming to my favorite spot in the whole apartment, and it's the living room and the fireplace space. And I like this especially because I really like how the paintings and the wall decoration look together on the wall, and I think it gives it a really nice dark maximalist vibe to it, and it looks very academic and splendid And I used a lot of Paranormal stuff pack items in this apartment. For example, the couches in this burgundy color, which go very well, I think, with the green color of the wall. And I also used this secretary, or what item it is. And I also used the candles from the Paranormal stuff pack. The fireplace is from Vintage Living, and I wanted to use different items from the pack. I decided not to, except for in the bedroom of the movie star, but it actually would have suited the vibes of the apartment very well as well. I hope the video is not speeded up too much for you. I speeded it up a bit more than I usually would do, but otherwise it would have been too long with all the cluttering. It took me a while, so for an apartment build, I think it was a pretty long video, and I speeded it up a bit more. As I said, I think the movie star Sim who lives here has a lot of friends, and I wanted to have a lot of space for visiting Sims in the living area and the dining area, so they can have some parties, dinner parties or whatever. In a way, I think you could describe the style of the apartment as a dark bohemian style. I used a lot of different items of different styles. Here we are in the bedroom of the movie star Sim, and I really had troubles finding the right wallpaper and the right bed. I really like this item on the wall, the tapestry, because it actually it reminds me a lot of Poland folklore art, and I am from Poland, and I really like this colorful flowers and flower motifs. As I said, I used a lot of items from Vintage Glamour as well. Here are the two wardrobes from the pack, and at first I used the mirror so they don't have to have this dresser item in their room, but well, at the end I decided to put the dresser as well inside of here. I also, like in the living room, I cluttered up the walls with a lot of paintings and photographs and other stuff, so it fits the general vibe of the apartment. At the end, I didn't keep the tapestry on the wall. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for rambling. Maybe if you follow me on Instagram, you know already, but I'm trying to apply to speak at a conference, and my mind is completely full with thinking about my abstract and what I want to write and talk about on this conference. And well, probably not all of you know, but I'm writing a doctorate in art history, and that's why I would like to speak on at the conference. And I don't want to tell you too much about what I'm writing about. It's a bit dark and it's a bit of a heavy topic, but it's very interesting, and it kind of fits actually the vibes of this apartment. But that's why also this video is a bit later out than usual, because I just couldn't bring myself to make a voiceover, because my head is really full of thinking about this abstract and my paper, and the conference or the speaking time in the conference are only 15 minutes, and it's so difficult sometimes to be brief when a topic you want to talk about is so important to you. So the deadline for the abstract is on Tuesday, so my head will be free for the next videos, which are actually prepared already, because there are a lot of challenges at the moment on Instagram, and I love a good challenge, and they're very interesting, and they're forcing me to come out of my comfort zone, and that's why I'm participating in a lot of challenges lately. I hope you don't get bored out of it, but mostly I do shorts for this anyway, so I hope you don't get bored of them. But I'm also planning my next tiny history build, and it will be a second empire build. And I'm thinking about not only talking about the architecture in this video, but also about haunted houses actually, because the Second Empire seems to be very popular in haunted houses movies, and that's what I wrote my master thesis on. So maybe I will talk about this. But I would like to hear your thoughts about it. Do you want to hear something about haunted houses and architecture? You can write me down in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram if you want to. But anyway, let's talk about the apartment again. Finally I decided for the wallpaper from Get Famous, which is very extra, I think, but I think it fits the personality of the sim who lives here very well, at least the way I imagine her. Even though the wallpaper is very busy, I kept the cluttered wall decoration because I don't know, it felt very maximalist to me, so I kept it that way. But as I said, I removed the tapestry because I thought that the motive out of it was a bit too much on the wall. And here I am doing the bathroom. I think it's a very typical bathroom layout for me. The only thing that is different from what I usually do are the darker colors and the more older items, or while they look older and more classy, I usually prefer a more clean look to the bathrooms. But well, I wanted to make it splendid and fitting to the main sim who lives here, so it's a bit extravagant and a bit cluttered, but I didn't overdo it because the butler who lives also here shared the bathroom with the main sim. The apartment is just too small to give the both sims a separate bathroom, and maybe the movie star doesn't earn that much money anymore, so they can't afford a bigger apartment but want to keep the luxury of a butler. In the beginning I wanted to put some laundry items in this apartment, but I still didn't playtest it if butlers do laundry actually, so I decided against it and gave them a shower instead. Well, I don't want my movie star to have to do their own laundry, so there's no laundry at all. Here I am at the butler's bedroom, and as I said before, I think that's a sim who is much more down the earth and likes it more simple, so their bedroom is far less cluttered, it's simpler, and maybe it looks, well, not cheap, but kind of cheap. If you don't like my suggested gameplay idea, you can turn this room easily into an office or an atelier or something like that, or I don't know, a bedroom for kids or something. But while I was decorating this apartment, I really liked the idea of having a movie star living here with their butler, and they're both elderly and I don't know, an odd couple, I guess it is. Maybe I will try myself out in cars, but I'm not really good in cars, and make the Sims so I can play with them because, well, I really like the idea. Or maybe if you're better in cars than I am or enjoy it more than I do, you can do them for me and write me a comment so I can download them and play a bit with them in this apartment. So we are already coming to an end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram as well, the link is down below. I also made a Pinterest board where I gather my inspiration and my own builds, so if you want to follow there you can do this as well, also down below. And I wish you a nice weekend and we will see us next week. Bye bye!